Hey guys, I wanted to do a little update on the Ecosphere here. As you can see, it's a little different setting. This is my dorm room. So I just got this moved in last night because I went home for Labor Day and picked this up. So since the last video, I actually put 2 new plants in there. I don't remember if I had that covered in the last video or not, but there were 2 new plants in there, and they are completely eaten. There's just little stems left, and that was because of 2 things. One, because the shrimps eat the plant, which is normal, and I expected that. The reason it got eaten faster than it could recover is because the light died. Now, originally, I had one of these right here, little lamps. There's a couple of LEDs down there. It seemed to work pretty good. However, when I got home, half of them had burnt out, and the other half were like flickering. So I really don't know, like, how that even happens. LEDs are supposed to last forever, practically. So maybe a bad driver, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe the inverter didn't have, or not inverter, the rectifier didn't smooth it or something, I don't know, but they failed, and the light was probably down to 20% what it normally should be. So obviously the plants weren't getting enough photosynthesis, especially because that is below those plants, the duckweed. So that just pretty much killed that. There's still there's like 1 or 2 little leaves on it, so I don't know if it'll grow back, but we'll have to see on that. Other than that, the snail is still doing fine. And also, when I came back, the algae population that was on the side was completely gone. Probably because they were eating it, and also there wasn't any light. So it seems pretty clean, but that's not good because there's nothing for them to eat. So what I did is I picked up a little light. Oh, it's not very little actually. Let me get the box for you here. Let's see, here it is. LED flood. And this provides 500 lumens. It is 5000K for the color. It was actually pretty tough to find this because a lot of them were like 28K, or 2800K, because these are normally used for indoors, and like, for example, this light here is probably around that spectrum. So that's yellow. That's typically the light you have indoors. Now, I didn't want that for this. I wanted more full spectrum for 2 reasons. One, so the plants would grow better, and also so that it didn't look like yellow. So this is a quote-unquote natural daylight. I think it says that on there somewhere. Yeah, there it is, natural daylight. But it's about the same color as, like, well, right now outside it's about the same color as that. So pretty happy with that. What I ended up doing is I took it apart. You can kind of see on the diagram. Let's see if there's a bigger one. No, it's not. On the little diagram right there. Basically, I separated this part, which is the LED and heatsink, from this part, which is, you have your Edison plug, and then you have your rectifier, and it drops the voltage. Now, the thing that I found kind of weird about this was I was originally just going to get a different inverter entirely, because I figured it just ran on like 12 volts or something. It actually runs on 54 volts, this LED, which is nuts. I couldn't even believe that. So the inverter is down here. I have that wire just to let me show you. I'm not going to pick it up, but you can see I just have one of those standard plugs there going in. That goes to the little, I keep calling it an inverter, I'm sorry. I'm usually working on CFLs. Not inverter, it's whatever, adapter, we'll just call it adapter, how about that? Have that down there, just mounted with hot glue, and then I have that going to the switch, and that just controls the 52 or 54 volts going to the LED. So then I ran into another problem. I originally mounted a little hard drive magnet on the top of the heatsink, because this is metal, so it just stick up and I could adjust it. The problem was after about 2 hours of runtime, the hot glue melted because the heatsink got so hot. Now that's perfectly under specification, so like it's not unhealthy for the LED to run like that. It's designed to do that, but that's obviously a problem for me because one, I don't like the idea of having something running that hot, and also it wouldn't mount. So I went to Radio Shack, picked up a little, it's 40mm fan, and then just dremeled out the top of this light, as you can see, and mounted, so it's blowing down, mounted at the top of the heatsink with some hot glue. And that, I have that running on a little variable adapter here, DC adapter. Right now it's at 7.5 volts, so I can vary it anywhere from 3 to 12. So right now it's running on 7.5, which is good because it's nice and quiet, and it keeps it just above ambient. Yeah, it's just a little warm. If I pump it up to like 9 or 12, it'll be ambient temperature. It's great, but it gets a little noisy, so I'm just keeping it like this, nice and quiet. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. And this acts as like a little duct to keep the air against the heatsink. Works really quite nice. And that's the new light situation. So I'll actually show you the LED because I thought it was pretty cool looking. That is a big LED, and if I turn it on, it's just going to blind the camera. It's like a sun. So there it is. And I actually did have a little trouble soldering to those tabs. One of the little tabs ripped off, so I had to freaking like expose another part that wasn't originally exposed and solder to that, and then because these wires are solid core, so I ended up just gluing those down to that. That's fine. This whole thing is the heatsink. Couldn't believe that. It looks like plastic, but nope, it's a heatsink. So yeah, and this morning when I woke up, I noticed that there's air bubbles all over this, which, presuming that they're coming, or since they're coming off the plants, I would presume that they are oxygen bubbles. And that's the first time I've ever seen those, so I guess with the window plus the 500 lumen light, that is pumping out some serious oxygen, which is excellent because these little guys would not be doing too good if that wasn't. So that's a little update. I'm sure this will change and adapt as the year progresses, so I will keep you guys updated. May or may not have some videos of the campus. I'm at UCF. If you don't know, it's the second biggest campus in America. So you can't see the stadium. Maybe not. No, that's just a field. So yeah, so I will probably have a couple more videos and something. But yep, anyway, that's the update. Thanks for watching.